Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. As always, he's Yinka Yusuf.
Good evening, people.
And I'm Akin. Good evening, everyone. Yinka, how's it going? How are you?
I'm good. Before we proceed, Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers. Ramadan tonight is the third night of Ramadan. Because in Islam the night comes before the day, so
Yep.
it's the second day of fasting, third night of Ramadan. So
Yeah.
Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim listeners. We pray that the blessings of the month and the rewards are associated with the month. We pray that we all receive that. We pray for peace in the land, peace everywhere, and peace to you too, Akin.
And where's my props for knowing it's the third night?
Akin,
Let me give myself props. Let me give myself.
I'll give you a pat on the back.
If you don't
let unravel.
if you don't praise me, if you don't praise me, I'll praise myself.
Yeah. But yes, I should. Yeah, round of applause for you. Pat on the back for you.
Thank you.
Not too many people know that. In fact, there are some Muslims that don't know that. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
All
You're
right.
absolutely
No. So, before we get into anything, I was watching. I regretted watching this, but I was watching Fulham, Man U Fulham today, and
okay.
they took a break for, I think it was Mazraoui to break his fast.
Break his fast. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So again, and someone texted. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing, kind of thing. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, and you know me, I'm not religious, but that's not a point. But for me, it's about inclusivity. How do we make this world a better place, right? So if you're running any organization, how do you make it such that it's inclusive for everyone? And not necessarily, and people say, I don't want to, we shouldn't give special consideration. That's nonsense. Yinka, I manage people. I've been managing people for a long time. One thing I always tell people is, if you're treating everybody the same, you're doing it wrong. If you're treating everybody the same, you're treating some people poorly. And this is what I mean. Yinka, not that I'll ever have to manage you, but say I'm managing you, and I'm also managing the female version of you, such as, there's a female version of you somewhere. And the female version of you is pregnant, and you are not pregnant. And I say the three of us have to work till 6 o'clock in the morning, from 6 o'clock in the previous morning, while the female version of you was pregnant. I've treated everybody the same, but I've treated one person extremely unfairly.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just, it's so childish, some of these positions that people are taking in the world today, and it's really pissing me off. Like, you give people what they need when they need it. That's when you're being a good boss. That's when you're being a good manager and a good organization. And if what your people need is, a quick 2, 3, 5-minute break, so they don't faint and collapse, and they can still keep up with their faith, which is important to them, then that's what you do. You know what I mean? But anyway, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's all good. It's all
right.
Good.
Yinka, we're still doing our 50th episode giveaway. By the way, this is episode 54 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to tell the people real quick? Yeah.
So just quick update. Our 50th episode giveaway is still ongoing. I'm sure by now everybody knows what to do, right? Subscribe on our YouTube channel. 1, 2, post the comment on the 50th episode with response to 3 questions, right? And those 3 questions are: 1, who's our first studio guest? Number 2, which clubs do we support? And number 3, which jerseys were we wearing on the 50th episode? Yeah? So that's what you're required to do to join this bonanza, as I call it. Yeah? And the prizes remain. We're giving away PS5 and selected jerseys of selected clubs. Yeah, for 4 runners. But the only thing that might happen is we might extend the period a bit to let more people enjoy or more people get in. But I'll provide the update at the next week's session. I might announce we might get the runner-ups, get some jerseys out, get some winners out next week. But we might then need to probably just extend it a bit for the PS5 to get more people involved. Yeah.
Am I eligible for the PS5?
No, you're not.
Oh.
No, you're not. You're sounding like my son right now. My son's like, all of them are like, Daddy, am I eligible? I said, you can join, you can comment, but if the randomizer picks you, I will come out and say, oh, sorry guys, that's my son. He doesn't need another PS5. He's not getting one. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh
that's what's gonna happen.
They're trying to play fast one on you. I like it.
They want to play fast one on me. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go straight ahead to what he mentions. Yinka, quick one.
Yes, sir.
We've gotten very, very good feedback on our new and improved, more streamlined version of this podcast. So let's keep trying to do it. Let's keep trying to keep this under 90 minutes, if we can. Yep. And having said that, our first word he mentioned is one Mr. Jamie Carragher. Okay. Where to begin? All right. For those who didn't watch 90s and 2000s EPL and didn't have the pleasure of witnessing the elegance of Mr. I can't even do it. I'm totally speaking tongue in cheek. He was not elegant at all. He was the prototypical English center back, a little bit of talent, some guile, zero athletic ability, zero, couldn't run. Anyway, leave all that aside. What did he say? He got caught talking about how AFCON was not a big tournament, and that's why Mo Salah has not been shown Ballon d'Or respect. A lot of people have come out immediately. Ian Wright, the man behind me here. Well, not today, but usually
not
behind
today,
me. Yeah, on the other side.
In the corner. Yeah.
In the corner. That man came out and was like, what are you talking about? This thing means the world. Pretty much said it was racist. John Mikel Obi, who never spoke in his 15, 16-year career and who now cannot shut up, also came out and and said something. And then the one that really, really, made me the happiest was my guy, JJ Okocha, was pretty much like, do you want your kids to be like Jamie Carragher, to have the career he had? Man, I'm like, that was the mic drop of all mic drops. So I will shut up now, Yinka. I know you have a lot to say about this, so I've said enough. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to shock people here to some extent. Yeah? So be prepared. So number one, Jamie Carragher is not wrong. And I'll explain why. Inherently, AFCON is a big tournament. Inherently. Yeah? Based on what every other person has said. But you know what happens when you, the custodian of something, don't cherish it? You know what happens? The outsiders will start rubbishing what you have. Which is exactly what is going on right now. Is it the same AFCON you call a major tournament that you get there, in the group games, the stadium is empty? The same AFCON that the players, you tell them to resume camp 2 weeks before time, they get there at the eve of the first game of the tournament? Is it the same AFCON that you go to the finals of the tournament and everything, the logistic? I told you what happened to me in Cote d'Ivoire. The logistic is messed up. Should that happen at a major tournament? So this is a classic example of where I'm black. I can use the N-word. Once the white man says N-word, everybody is mad at it. Do you understand?
As we should be. But go on.
As we should be. But so that's what I'm saying. I like the uproar as everybody is telling Jamie Carragher to shut up. It's fine. But at the same time, let us look inwards and really ask ourselves the deepest question. Do we really appreciate that tournament as we used to or as it should be? Let's be very, very honest with ourselves. The same qualifiers for this AFCON, the same qualifiers for this. Players will say, I'm not interested in playing the qualifiers. I'd rather play qualifiers for the World Cup. Or I'm not coming home for that qualifier. Don't we get this? So when you don't appreciate what you have, how can you be mad at an external person? I don't want to use the SH word, but you get what I'm pointing. He's talking down on your tournament. He's talking down on your tournament. For me, AFCON is a major, big tournament. For us in Africa, it is. Yeah? But for the custodians of the tournament, they are depreciating the tournament. Right? Even the players at times they don't really appreciate that tournament. Mikel Obi that is talking there. There are not several times that he has come late to camp for this AFCON tournament. Although I love the fact that he's defending the AFCON. I love that. I love what JJ said. But let's tell ourselves the honest truth at times. And the second bit from me is this. Ballon d'Or is crap. I've always told you this, Akin. Ballon d'Or is complete crap. That is why somebody will think, okay, if you winning AFCON does not translate to you winning Ballon d'Or. Just tells you it's just that whole thing is stupid. Someone said something the other day. He said, Riyad Mahrez won the treble with City, right?
Yeah.
And won the AFCON. And his name wasn't even on the ballot. Where was the uproar then? That was when the AFCON was disrespected. Where was the uproar then? Nobody said anything. Because, Ronaldo Messi. Hey, Ronaldo Messi. You see what I'm saying? Nobody stood up for AFCON then to say, how come Riyad Mahrez won this tournament? He was arguably the best player for Algeria in the tournament. Yeah? And he was also a key player for City. Why wasn't his name on the ballot box?
It wasn't the best player. It wasn't the best player for City. Go on.
No. I didn't say he was the best player for City.
I know.
So, okay. So, Sadio Mane won, is it not back-to-back, I think? Yeah? So, you get what I'm saying? That disrespect happened back then. If you're talking about this Ballon d'Or, I'm talking in the context of what Jamie's talking about. When people should have said, how about the AFCON winners? Why are you not considering them? Nobody said anything. Now Jamie says stuff and you're mad because he pointed out to you that the way you treat your tournament is why he's receiving it, and that's why it's not big for him. Yeah? So let's be balanced here, right? I disagree with him. For me, and you know this, I am planning to go for another AFCON. I've told you this. I went for the last one. I look forward to AFCON. Yeah, I look forward to the AFCON. And a lot of people in Nigeria, in Africa, is the biggest tournament for us. But they just don't appreciate us. That's what it means. That's what it means. And at times we have our own ambassadors that don't really also show the necessary appreciation to the tournament. That's what it is. I rest my case, Akin.
All right. Thank you. This is multi-pronged and extremely nuanced. But let me get out the non-nuanced part first, right?
Yes.
We're in an African moment right now. And I wouldn't expect Jamie Carragher to know it or understand it, right? But Mikel Obi was right. It's 1.4 billion people on the continent, right? This matters to them, right? It's 1.4 mostly previously subjugated, previously silenced people, right? And I don't need to repeat all the stats. We have, aside, I think only the Middle East comes even close in the percentage of population that is young people. In Africa, it's mostly young people. Nigeria is even on a crazier level than Africa, right? Where in Nigeria, I think we have the highest percentage of young people of all the big countries in the world, right? It's really mind blowing when you think about it. So Jamie Carragher messed with the wrong one, right? You don't go at Arsenal fans on social media, and you don't talk about Nigeria on social media, and you definitely don't talk about Africa on social media. He didn't get the memo.
Nigeria is number one. You don't mess with Nigerians on social media. They will kill. they will kill you.
And the thing about Nigeria is they will defend any African when you come at Africans. So
I'm telling you.
They'll make fun of Ghana Jollof, but when a Jamie Carragher goes at Ghana,
Makes
Nigerians
fun of Ghana Jollof. Exactly.
They will defend them. And so, but again, there's I was on a panel at work for Black History Month on Tuesday, and I spoke about cultural competency, right? When you're talking about your merits for a job. I've told you this story before, right? During when I was telling you how my own view on diversity and why it's important to me, and what it means to me, right? So it was 2005. I just finished law school. I'm waiting for my job to start at some point in a couple months or whatever, and I'm sitting in my apartment in DC. And I'm talking to my sister-in-law who lived in Houston at the time. And we're watching CNN and we're watching people wading in the waters of hurricane. It was the one after Katrina. It wasn't even Katrina, the one that came after. And she said something to me that changed my life. She was like, hey, some of these women will be on their period, wading through the water. And I thought about it and I really let it sink in. I'm like, Yinka, if I had the job of leading the disaster relief for that hurricane, I would fail at that job. At least at that point, I would have failed at it, right? Because even though I had the empathy, hopefully the qualification, and I cared about these people and I wanted to get supplies out to them, Yinka, I could try 100 times. I would never include sanitary pads, because I've never thought about pads in my life. No one's ever lectured me or educated me on pads. So I would have been qualified to do the job on paper, but I wouldn't have had the cultural competency to play in that arena. This is where Jamie Carragher failed. You know what I mean? So he has the competency to be in the job he's in, but he lacked the cultural competence to be to opine on what he was opining on. You know what I mean? And you can tell because this is something his boy Thierry Henry would never speak of. Thierry has been in homes of African players. He's been friends with parents of African players. He knows what this thing means to Kanu. He knows what it means to other people. He knows what Bukayo Saka was struggling with when he chose to play for England. He understands that. He knows all the French guys and the challenge when France calls you up and you have to decide between Mali and France. He knows what it meant for Aubameyang, whose father was a Gabon international, to represent Gabon. And Aubameyang was good enough to represent France. There was a time when he was when he was a top 5 striker in world football. People rubbish him now, but there was a time when he was the hottest in Germany. Right after Lewandowski. Like when Lewandowski left for Bayern, Dortmund didn't skip a beat. They're like, oh, you can score 38 goals. I can score 34 goals. Doesn't matter, right? So Thierry has been in those conversations. Clearly, his boy, Carragher, hasn't. So they may have similar, whatever, football, resumes. But when it comes to cultural competence, he lacks it. So that's just I hear everything you're saying. I agree. It's the I can come for my people, but you best not. It happens all the time. There's certain things I will not say about certain cultures, but I'll say it about mine. That's okay. That's fine. But when you're in that position and it's not 1992 anymore, right? And anything you say something in Malaysia today, they hear it in Russia, instantly. Instantly. And he should know this. So I don't feel sorry for him. He may have a point. He may have a point, but you don't say that. Now, my last point, Yinka, will be Mo Salah is having, again, I hate to say this because of where I hold Thierry, but is having on paper one of the best Premier League seasons ever for a forward.
Yes.
For a forward. I'm not going to say striker or no striker, just for a forward. The numbers make no sense. Not Ronaldo, not Thierry. Like if he stopped right now and didn't play the last 10 games for Liverpool, it would have had a historic, season. It's insane, Yinka, what he's doing.
Yeah.
And if you all keep telling me this is the best league in the world, if it is, then it's already Ballon d'Or worthy. It should already be on the short list.
So Akin, this tells you where the problem, where the disrespect, and just to tie up the Carragher bit, the guy actually doubled down, right, on what he said. And I look at him, I'm like, this guy, don't you have advisors in your camp, right? You apologize and you move on. You don't repeat. You don't double down on it. Yeah, that's it. So Carragher, advanced donkey of the week, is a candidate. That's number one. To answer your question, yeah, they ask, so who are the candidates for Ballon d'Or right now? So somebody said Mo Salah, and the next player that came to people's mouth is Rafinha, and I'm like, really? Rafinha? See, I understand Baka. Baka is having a good season. He's having a fantastic season. But you cannot compare what Salah is doing right now to what Rafinha is doing this season. So once again, this goes back to the point of people just looking at stats. What they're interested in is who is on top of the league in English Premier League. Salah. Liverpool is on top of the Champions League. Baka is second. Who are the best players in this? That's what people are doing. And I'm like, that's lazy. That's lazy journalism. That's lady punditry. Yeah. There are many more players that you can consider. Yeah. But for them to just limit it to those two, even not people that are not having, that are not on top, you understand? You can look at other people. But having said that, going back to your point on Salah, he's having a historical season. But it goes back to the kind of generation that we are. The only reason why you're comparing Salah and Thierry Henry right now is because of the numbers, goals and assists. You can't tell me I test what we saw Thierry do is you can't compare Salah to what Thierry.
No, I'm not.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, the numbers look very similar. It might even end up with better numbers, but Thierry was Arsenal. Let me just put it. Thierry is the kind of player you could see all the defenders, see John Terry, see Rio Ferdinand. They will tell you that we had nightmares before playing Arsenal because we were worried, and that's the only player we had that kind of nightmare against. I don't think Salah strikes that kind of fear, right, in the minds of defenders that he's playing he's playing with this season.
Yinka, hold that thought. Let's put a pin in it because there's a question coming later. So we'll come back to this Mo Salah thing. So don't worry about it. We'll come back to Mo Salah. Okay.
Fair enough. Let's move on.
All right. So Yinka, we have one more worthy mention, and it's PSP favorite Jose Mourinho.
My guy.
Oh my god, I cannot stand him from here to there.
I love him.
He's the worst. I can't stand him at all.
I love Jose Mourinho.
You see it.
It's a style of play I don't like. I like the guy as a person. God. I love him.
I cannot stand him. So he got in trouble in Turkey. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but he had this coming. We've talked about him in the past. He's accused. So he's at Fenerbahce, right? So he's accused Galatasaray of, they're both Istanbul clubs. They hate each other or whatever. He's accused them of bribing officials, corruption, all kinds of stuff. I mean, just stuff you don't do. Like, I'm like, what kind of gangster nonsense or wannabe gangster nonsense is this? Like, I've never seen an elite coach do this. Not even in the Brazilian league where all kinds of shenanigans are always afoot. You don't hear coaches talk about this. When Calciopoli was happening in Italy, you didn't hear coaches come out and say, Juve are bribing officials. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. What, now he got a 4-game suspension. I mean, this is all I have to say about this. Well deserved. What do you have to say, Yinka?
Why do you say it's well deserved? Mind, don't say that.
You can't talk. You can't talk like that, Yinka.
See, so here's the thing. Mourinho is saying out loud what the rest of Turkey think, but they're afraid to say it. And it's like, I'll be your messiah. I'll take the blame for you guys. I will say it out loud, right? So
Yinka, why are you not allowed? Yinka, why are you not allowed to criticize referees? Why do you get a yellow or a red, and why do you get a suspension?
Because you're minimizing the respect and the whatever, blah 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 blah. I get all that. I get all that. But not when the refs are giving dubious penalties, dubious calls week in, week out in support of Galatasaray. So
and not Fenerbahce. Not Fenerbahce. Not
Fenerbahce. No. So see, last. Hold on now.
Okay, go on.
There is the mean, right, and there are the outliers. Galatasaray is a major outlier. You saw what happened 2 weeks ago, where the opposing team, I can't remember what Galatasaray were playing. They walked off the team because they said the first half penalty they gave to Galatasaray, which was it on the Dres Martins, the Belgian. The guy dived, and VAR looked at it, and VAR still called it a penalty. I saw it, Akin. He dived. And it's like, what's this nonsense? Give Galatasaray the league already then, if that's the case. So Mourinho is coming out to say, okay, y'all don't want to say it, I'll say it. So it's not the only one that is saying this. If a team can walk off the pitch, there's no smoke with that fire, Akin. There's something there. But we're not talking about Turkish league in general. We're talking about my guy, Mr. Jose Mourinho. Yeah? People wonder why I like this guy. I like people that are, I don't know how to put it. Yeah, he's gotten to the point where he's just like, you know what? I'll say what I have to say. I'm like this. I'm not like this. I'll tell you what's on my mind. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But I just like that. I like that, that tendency to shake up the establishment and let people know. He'll probably be fired at the end of the season or he'll resign. I know. He'll get a good pay. He'll go. But his impact on Turkish league within this 1 or 2 seasons, 1 season, yeah, people will start looking at the refs sideways to say, guys, what's going on? Do you know that the Galatasaray Fenerbahce match wasn't refereed by a Turk? It was refereed by a Slovenian. Because of the uproar. And it's like, it's understandable. There's no smoke with that fire. But I digress. I'm going off tangent again. Going back to Mourinho. Mourinho said that the Galatasaray substitute players were jumping around like monkeys. That's what he said, right? And everybody went. Galatasaray said they're going to sue him, and indeed they sued him. Now he is now also counter-suing Galatasaray to say, "What do you mean? All the noise you people made about it has affected me, blah blah blah." So he's suing Galatasaray back. But guess what? Mourinho is a crazy guy. Guess what he did? He's suing Galatasaray. Let me get the actual number. I don't want to miss this. He's suing Galatasaray for 1.9 million Turkish lira. Yeah? Which is just £41,000. So he's not suing them for the money. He's just making a statement. You know why? Because 1907 is the year Fenerbahce was founded. So he's just saying, I'm just doing this I want to make a statement. I want to show that I support it's not about the money, but you guys just can't come and say all this kind of stuff about the club that I coach. But having said that, Aki, I don't necessarily agree. I don't like his choice of words, right? But at times things can be lost in translation. And Mourinho might have said that intentionally. I don't know. Because it's the same Mourinho that looked at Mauro Icardi and called him a goat. He called him a goat, and people thought, why would you call Icardi a goat? Until someone said there is a total meaning to when they call someone a goat in Portugal, right? It means something else that has to do with your interactions with your wife. And Icardi has a problem with his wife.
Yeah.
Right? So he intentionally called him a goat, and he said it in English. English. Right? So I like Jose. I don't like his footballing tactics. I like the man. He probably shouldn't have said it, but there's no smoke with that fire. there's stuff going on in Turkey that is abnormal. Yeah. But once again, he's come to just scatter everywhere, and hopefully, maybe Turkish football will be better off for it. But yes, he's been banned for 4 games and he's been fined already. But he's counter-suing Galatasaray for whatever it is. He said due to the attack on his personal rights. Yeah, so he's counter-suing. He's counter-suing them, and he's come out to say his comments were taken out of context. That he didn't mean it as a racist remark. He just saying they were jumping around. They could have used any other word other than monkey, which he probably should have.
So
anyway,
I actually believe him. So let me just restate again. I do not like this guy. I probably hate him. I'm not a fan at all. I find no redeeming value in this dude at all. Like, if he disappeared from football right now, I would not miss him. I think he set football back many, many years. It was extremely disrespectful. Not a fan. I don't like him. It reminds me of, our cartoon president, where I live. They're the same person. They're the same person to me. I mean, I'll just make this, 1 second, I'll just make this very simple. Anyone who comes out to say, only I know how to do stuff, I'm not a fan of you. Go ahead, Yinka.
Okay, but small timeout. The way the way I measure coaches at time is your level of man management. Yeah?
Okay.
You give it to him. I have not seen a player that he has managed in the past come out and say Mourinho was a bad coach or a bad person.
Okay.
I'm yet to see.
We can talk about, we can find in another episode, we can talk about Mo Salah, KDB, and Lukaku. But let's leave that aside for today.
That's from a footballing standpoint. Don't mix it together. That's from a footballing standpoint. I'm talking about the people that that he coached for a long time, and they always say nice things about him. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Battered wife syndrome. But we'll move on. But
anyway, let's move on.
but my quick point about Mourinho, the monkey thing, honestly, it didn't resonate with me. I don't think he was trying to be racist. I don't like the guy at all, but I don't think he's never given me racist. That just being very fair to him, he's never given me racist. So, and I don't think that's what he was trying to do. And if Gala have black players, Fana also have black players. So, I mean,
absolutely.
Come on. And Mourinho is an extremely intelligent guy. I don't think he was trying to target Victor Osimhen, as some people have suggested. Or Victor Osimhen in particular. But before we move on, Yinka, this is what I am certain is going on. He's feeling the pressure. He's not the coach he used to be, and is feeling the pressure. And I'm looking at the top of the table right now. Besiktas is the third leg of the tripod in Turkey, and they're in fourth right now. They're 21 points behind, so leave them alone. Samsunspor at number 3, forget them. They're 19 points behind. So it's really a 2-team race between Gala and Fener, right?
Yeah.
And Gala are 4 points ahead. They haven't lost. They both played 25 times. Gala are 20-5. 20 wins and 5 draws. Fener 19 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses. Fenerbahce have scored 1 more goal. They've conceded, 3 fewer, so they have a higher goals difference. 40 compared to 36, but they're 4 points behind. It's feeling the pressure, and that's why all of this is happening. And now I'm done.
But they have 11 more games to go, so anything can happen.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
Move on.
So, Yinka, I think we spent a little more time on those 2 topics than I thought we would, but we're going to move on.
Yeah, but we're fine.
We're good? Okay. So we're going to start with a European tour, so to speak, and we're just going to go a little topical, as we've been trying to do. So, Yinka, I want to start. So there was no EPL this weekend because of the FA Cup, right? And I don't watch the FA Cup unless Arsenal is in it. I watch some of Fulham, Man U. It just doesn't move me. Man U got knocked out. So again, let the apology be as loud as the insult. So all of you that were running around like monkeys when you all won by PKs the last time, I hope you come out and you yell just as loud now that you've gone out by PKs. Bump, Man U and all of their fans. Don't care. But anyway, let's go to La Liga. Yinka, we have a title race in La Liga.
Yep.
We have a title race. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's 58, 57, 56 right now.
It's 57, 56, 54.
Okay, 57, 56, 54. Okay, and it's Barcelona after they beat up on Real Sociedad, 4-0. And then it's and then
Atletico.
Atletico Madrid 1 point behind them. And then, Real Madrid lost to Betis. And Yinka, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Anthony may be useful. Like, what is happening? Anthony played 90 minutes. Isco is back from his injury, rebuilding his career. Manuel Pellegrini, who I've always liked, is doing something with Betis. And Real Madrid looked not quite like the team that just beat up on City. Like, what is happening? There's so much going on in Spain. Where do you want to start from?
So, I keep saying that it's like they're taking turns to just show us, I don't want to win the league. That's what's going on in Spanish league. Because at this point, it's becoming comical. I think Real Madrid had an eye on the midweek game against Atletico. Yeah?
The Champions League. In the Champions League.
In the Champions League, yeah. Because Atletico also played Athletic Bilbao. Yeah? And if not for the woodwork, the post, Athletic will have scored. They were just crashing the bar because I caught highlights of that game. Yeah? Atletico Madrid also had an eye on. So the two sides were kind of weakened over the weekend intentionally so that they could be fresher for the midweek game. Atletico Madrid were lucky. They won 1-0. Really, really lucky. They should have lost that game. But you couldn't say the same for Madrid. Yeah? I didn't watch the game. I know Alaba started for the first time in a long time.
At centre back. At centre back. He didn't start at left back. Yeah.
And they actually still played Rodrigo, they played Mbappe, they played Vinny, yeah? But I just thought they had this mental whatever that, there's a bigger game coming Wednesday. Maybe they didn't give it their all. I might be wrong. But to be fair, Betis were up for it. Betis attacked them. Betis didn't give them room to breathe. Yes, they got a penalty. Was it really a penalty? Nah. In my opinion, it was quite soft. Yeah, but that was the penalty to win the game. The Betis first goal was fine. But yeah, Barca beat Real Sociedad. They were lucky again. Sociedad got a red card in the first half.
Yeah.
They got a red card, and Barcelona just steamrolled them. But I'm not worried about this. We'll be talking about La Liga going into the last week of the season because these three, they're like triplets. They are Siamese triplets at that point. They will be conjoined until the last week of the season because you don't trust any of them well enough to grab the bull by the horn and create some distance between the rest of the pack. I don't think it's gonna happen. You might be shocked. Barca playing next week might as well. They might lay an egg again next week, and before you know it, Real Madrid is back on top. It's crazy.
So I think they've all now played 26 times.
26 also.
26 times. Okay, so there's 12. Yes. There's 12 matches to go. So here's what I think people are not talking about: the quality of coaching at the three clubs. Your favorite pundit, Gary Neville, was speaking, and someone asked him what happened at Valencia. And he was like, he talked about, was it Valverde that was at Barcelona at the time? That was the manager of Barcelona at the time. And Barcelona had just beaten Gary Neville's Valencia 7-0, and this man did not even shake hands with Gary Neville. He just walked past him, and Neville talked about being on the sideline, looking at the tactical things going on around him, and just knowing he wasn't at the levels. Valverde lost 7 matches in his 3 seasons in the league, in his 3 seasons with Barcelona, and he still got fired. He lost 7 times in 3 seasons. When City won the league last year, didn't they lose 5 times? I think they lost 5 times.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe 6 times. And then the City lost like 11 times in the 2 years they won the league. And frankly, they won comfortably, right? And Valverde lost only 7 times in 3 seasons. I say all that to say the reason, in my opinion, that we have this intriguing title race is because of the quality of coaching. Some mitigation for Real Madrid. Federico Valverde, the midfielder, was missing. Injury. Bellingham, suspension. Right? And then you have their long-term injuries, obviously, in defense.
Yeah.
Carragher wasn't there still. What's the name of the Brazilian center back? He's still injured. ACL. Militao, and I think there's one more. There's like 5 major injuries. So there's some. Just it's not everything, but it's something. When you don't have your preferred midfield, it kind of explains. They did move Chouameni from the makeshift center back into his preferred midfield, and he just one of the goals actually did come through him. So, but anyway,
But Akin, before you move on, having a midfield of Tchouameni and Modric, Akin, it's still elite. Yeah, I think the only missing person that you could say is Bellingham. Yeah, Bellingham didn't play, but Diaz Brahimi that stood in for him was the one that got the goal. So
the squad.
I know. It was just a bad day in the office for.
It was a bad day. It was a bad day.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so let's move on from La Liga. Yinka, is the title race over in Germany?
So the gap is 8 points right now, isn't it?
The gap is 8 points.
And the goal difference is almost times 2.
It's
Bayern
massive.
have 52 and Leverkusen have, I think I have it open here. Yeah, Leverkusen have 27. 27. So that's a 25 goal difference gap. Right? So that's definitely an extra point. So that means add that extra point to the 8, that gives you 9. So that means from now to the end of the season, they've played 24 so far, right? And the total number of games they have is 34. So they have 10 games left. That means Bayern needs to lose 3 out of the next 10 games. Yeah? No, 4 rather. They need to use 4. 3. Sorry. They need to lose 3 out of the next 10 games. And Leverkusen must have an unblemished record, win all through, win their last 10 games for this not to be curtains in Bundesliga. What's the probability of that happening? I think it's almost close to 0. Bayern might be, they have been shaky this season. Yeah. But I think Leverkusen themselves might be looking at it right now and say the game on Wednesday or Tuesday this week, the first leg against Bayern Munich, and the 2 ties. This is what we are hanging our season on, right? Leverkusen will come out with blood. That's what I think, and I think Leverkusen will beat Bayern in the Champions League. That's what I think. Yeah, but in the league, I think Bayern, they've done enough. I don't see them losing 3 games out of 10. And I don't see Leverkusen winning the rest of the 10. And I think they've completed the games against each other. I'm not sure they're still playing each other again. I can double check. But I don't think I don't think Leverkusen are going to catch Bayern Munich, especially because of that goal difference. So, in my opinion, I think the title race is over Inter.
Okay. Yinka, let's move on to the Serie A real quick. Napoli have now dropped 4 points in the last 2 matches, I believe. They went to Como last week and lost 2-1. And then they drew at home to Inter. Was it yesterday or Friday? I'm not sure. We're recording on a Sunday.
I think it was yesterday.
So that's 4. Yeah, it was yesterday. So that's 4 points they've dropped. The Inter one is not, it's not as unexpected as the Como one was bad.
Was a surprising one.
And then, now all of a sudden, it's 1 point between Inter and Napoli, and then Atalanta is just 2 points behind Inter. So if you had to revise your predictions, I would say Inter are looking really good because they survived whatever was going on in the first half of the season. And now they have the experience. They look like the team to beat. Am I calling this too early? I don't think Atlanta will win the league. And it's looking like Napoli are wobbling at the wrong time. Hey, not when the coach and the star player are fighting each other, Yinka.
Fair point. But if you look at the league itself, right? Going back to your goal difference analogy, which is a very, very perfect one, very, 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 very good one. Inter have 35 plus 35 goal difference. Napoli has plus 21. That's a 14 goal difference gap. Yeah. Atlanta have plus 33. They're closer. So Atlanta, forget that Napoli is second. If Atlanta didn't draw their home game, they would have been on the same points with Napoli. They will be second and they will actually be closer to Inter. Yeah. Once again, something tells me these teams are still going to play each other. Yeah. Something tells me they're still going to play each other. Yeah. So don't write off Atlanta yet.
Okay.
Don't. Because right now, the Serie A is 38 game weeks. They've played 27. There are 11 more games to play, Aki. In 11 games, 3 points gap is nothing. Atlanta are just 3 points behind Inter Milan. So I don't think Napoli, yes, they're slipping up. The fact that they have a lower goal difference is not too good for them. Atlanta, beware of Atlanta. Yeah, the coach might have messed up. Lookman is a consummate professional. He's still going to do what he needs to do if he's being called upon. Like I told you, he scored 2 goals last weekend after the coach messed him up. Yeah. So I think the Serie A is going to go down to the wire also. Yeah. Napoli started off strong, but they've really weakened. And I'm surprised you don't have Champions League. You don't have European League commitments. I would have thought that's an advantage as against the Inter or the Atlanta that didn't have. Well, Atlanta that had rather. Atlanta is also out of the Champions League right now. So I think Inter's progression in the Champions League might also affect them. Yes, they have a big squad, but that mentality for you to stay focused and challenge on 2 fronts is not easy to have. Yeah, it takes a toll on the coach. It takes a toll on the players. So right now, I can't call it curtains in the Serie A. Anything can still happen. Beware of Atlanta. Beware of Atlanta. They've scored 59 goals. Inter has scored 60. Napoli has scored 43. Going back to your goal, they have goals in them. That's Atlanta. And they can be tough to beat at times. Yeah? So I think it's still open in the Serie A.
Okay. All right. We've been skipping, like I said, there was no EPL this weekend and we've been skipping Liga. And I think we should continue to skip it. So why don't we go to the Champions League games that are coming up? And then let's just figure out which ones we want to talk about. We've already kind of started talking about Real versus Atleti, it's just crazy to me that they're even meeting before the quarterfinals. But it is what it is. You want to start from there and just wrap that up real quick?
Yeah, cool. So before we move on, I just quickly ran through the fixtures in Serie A. Atlanta is still playing Roma. Atlanta is still playing Inter. Atlanta
That's
at home
crazy.
to Inter is 16th of March or is in 2 weeks' time or thereabout. So if they still play each other, anything can still happen. Anyway, moving on to the UEFA Champions League. Like you said, it's surprising some of the fixtures. We've talked about this already, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. But the next, the round of 16, first leg is on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then the second leg is a week after. Once again, Real Madrid at home to Atletico. For me, Bayern Munich at home to. So on Tuesday, the game to look out for, the Tuesday game, PSG Arsenal is nothing. It's that Real Madrid Atletico game on Tuesday. That's a major one. Yeah. I don't know what will happen, Aki. I think that game will be a draw. That's my prediction. I think it will be a draw. Bayern Munich at home to Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen are going to beat Bayern Munich at home.
Wow.
I think Leverkusen will beat Bayern Munich at home. Yeah.
Wow.
PSG Liverpool. What a pity Dembele is on form, but not at the point that he can trouble Liverpool. Yeah. If the coach is smart enough and they pitch Dembele against Trent, PSG might have some good things happening. Even Bakola against Trent is still a problem. Liverpool will score. The problem is I don't know how effective the PSG front line will be because this is not your typical French opposition that you batter every week. Yeah, Liverpool are decent and they will ask questions from you defensively. So that's going to be an interesting game. I believe it's going to be a high scoring game, but I see Liverpool going through ultimately. Yeah. So those are the games happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then next week is the reverse leg, the second leg of those games.
Okay. All right. So, Yinka.
Yes, sir.
Everyone we know, mostly Man U fans, have been telling us that Arsenal are going to crash out of the Champions League. Agree, disagree, don't care. What are your thoughts?
I won't be shocked if they crash out. Yeah.
Okay.
You see, so PSV, any team that is at this stage of the Champions League, forget the league that they are playing in, they're a decent team. Yeah. PSG beat Juventus over 2 legs. Juventus are a good team with a good coach, well coached team. Yeah. PSV, the first leg is in Eindhoven.
Is that PSV?
Is at PSV.
It is.
Yeah. So I believe that game is going to be a low scoring game. Yeah. Not because it's going to be. Arsenal don't have an offense. Forget it. They don't have an offense. Right now, Nwaneri is growing. Trossard is Trossard. Trossard is not your A-level player. Trossard is a squad player. I'm sorry to say this. I've said this 1,000,001 times. I don't have a problem with him, but you can't have Trossard in there and say we are depending on him to deliver. Trossard will pop up when every other person is distracted, if you get what I mean. Whenever other person is causing havoc, that is when he would then sneak in and do his thing. You cannot put the spotlight on him and expect him to. He's not that kind of player. Yeah. And Merino up front, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's just an experiment. I've told you I won't even try. At this point, I'd rather play Butler or Edeji. Yeah. or even play Raheem Sterling. Yeah. So for me, I believe the only way Arsenal can get through this is to hustle a draw in Eindhoven and hopefully pray that when you come back to the Emirates, at least the crowd and the blah 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 can pull you through. Now remember, PSG have nothing to lose. The whole pressure is on Arteta. The whole pressure is on Arsenal at this point. Yeah. So how well can the team perform given the pressure surrounding this occasion? Fingers crossed. I want Arsenal to proceed, but if they crash out, I won't be surprised. I will not be surprised.
Over to you. I think Arsenal will surprise you. I'm not going to say too much.
Oh my god!
Hold on. I think the golfing quality will shock you.
Which golf?
And I think,
which golf?
We'll see.
Golf. So, rugby. Okay. Which golf? Which golfing quality? Stop disrespecting these teams.
I'm not disrespecting. What I'm telling you
this
is,
PSV team beat you last season, didn't they? They
yeah,
did.
Arsenal also beat them. Yeah, they beat
You in
game the game they beat us that didn't matter. We had already qualified. It was a group stage game. We'd already qualified. The one that mattered, we beat them, and we it's not even the same. But this is what I'm going to say, Yinka. You're giving Arteta a week and a half to prepare. If he doesn't get them ready, then you might as well ship him out now, right? I believe in Arteta. I believe you do as well. So if you're telling me that he wouldn't find an answer in a week and a half, then it shouldn't be there. At this level, it shouldn't be there. So it's that simple. You can't have it both ways.
You
I
can't have it
both
with you,
ways.
but we won't have that argument here now. I disagree with you, right?
It's only 2 days to go, right? When is the game? Is it Wednesday or Tuesday?
It's on. I think it's on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's on Tuesday. It's on Tuesday. Okay, I completely disagree with you, right? Not what you have, right? You don't have anybody. You don't have a front line. Where is the offense going to come from?
Okay. All right. No problem.
Anyway,
no problem.
We'll see.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to talk about this. So, Yinka, I think we're done with the Champions League. Let's spend the rest of our time taking questions. Go on.
Before we move on, let's show some love to the Europa League.
Do we have to?
Let's. They are in the round of 16 also, so let's just show them some love because they also play this Thursday, and the second leg is upper week.
Okay.
Fenerbahce is still in Europa, unlike Galatasaray that were jumped out. So Mourinho has a game against Rangers. We also said that Man United, the United fans that say at least United still have a chance to win something this season. This is your last chance of winning something this season. I don't see United going past Real Sociedad. Just saying. Then Tottenham is away to AZ Alkmaar. Tottenham are having a very, very bad season. I won't be shocked if they get dumped out by. I'm sorry, I won't be shocked if they get dumped out by AZ. AZ have some young players. This guy's son, this Dutch defense, Van Bommel. You remember Van Bommel? Van Bommel has a son that plays for AZ Alkmaar. He's a left winger.
Okay.
That boy is a problem, major problem. Then you have Roma Athletic Bilbao, then Ajax, Eintracht Frankfurt. So henceforth we'll be talking about Europa League because now it's in the major stages. We'll review the games also. Let's show them some love. I think Europa deserves it. Anyway.
Okay. Can we move on now?
Yes.
You just needed an excuse to remind us that Spurs and Man U are 13th and 14th on the league team.
You know me too well. You know me too well.
That's why you brought this up. They're in that other league, Europa, and on the second part of the table for the EPL. That's why you brought that up.
Akin, you started this show talking about inclusivity. So this is me. This is me bringing them on board. Yeah, this is me including United and Spurs in the discussion. So please permit us henceforth. Let's talk about Europa because I know some shocking results will come out of it, and it's very, very good. We start beforehand, not after it happened. And I say, "Oh, it's because United lost. That's why you are here." No, I'm here. I'm supporting Europa already. But let's move on. Yeah.
All right. So, can we move on to our questions now? So we have a few questions.
One quick thing before we move on to questions, Aki. Talking about United Arsenal is next weekend.
Okay. All right.
So what do you think will happen? So question to you.
It's at Old Trafford.
It's at Old Trafford.
It's at Old Trafford. Arsenal have to win. There's no two ways about it.
So United do have to win. I'm not asking you who has to win. I'm asking you what do you think will happen.
Yeah, Arsenal will win, obviously. I mean, what are we
Arsenal
talking
win at
about?
Old Trafford without this.
They have to.
No goals, no goals. Forget we have to. Why you keep saying we have to? Everybody has. Leicester have to win.
Because
If they win, they don't.
Yinka, let me remind you again. Arsenal have done this even when they didn't have injuries. This is not what is that thing we say in software? It's a feature,
Akin, you're
not a glitch.
dancing, you're dancing
I'm
around,
not
you're dancing
dancing.
around.
No,
I'm
Yinka,
asking
you're
you
not
a
listening to me.
simple yes or no.
And
Simple
I'm
yes or
answering
no.
you, but you don't like the answer. I'm answering
You
you, but
keep
you don't
saying
like
they
the answer.
have to.
They will
Who's
win.
gonna
I've
win?
already said that.
Okay.
Arsenal will win, but I'm
Okay, we'll
explaining
leave it
to
at
you.
that.
So no. See, you're caught up in this. There's no striker. There's no whatever thing, right?
No,
And I'm telling.
no,
Hold
that's
on.
not what I'm caught
Hold
up
on.
in. What
Hold
I'm
on.
caught up in is you've seen your offense. I'm not talking about striker right now. Have you looked like scoring a goal in recent times?
Okay. And I'm saying you either believe in Arteta or you don't. Okay. Again, as they say in the software industry, this is a feature of Arteta teams. It's not a glitch. This is a feature. It doesn't matter. They've had a healthy Saka, a healthy Odegaard, a healthy what's his name, Martinelli, and gone 3 games without scoring and not looking like scoring. Remember, it's happened in 4 different seasons now. So everyone is crying about all the injuries, and the injuries are bad, right? The injuries are very bad. But this is a feature of Arteta teams. It's not a glitch. I expect this every season, and then they'll come out of it. But I don't expect them to go through it 3 times in a season, though. So maybe that's where the injury comes in, because this was happening at the beginning of the season. This was happening in December, and now it's happening again, right? But Man U is a good customer now. Well, I feel I'm offended that you're asking me this question. But go on.
Okay. So here's I understand what you're saying, but here's where you're getting it. In those games that you're talking about, that Arsenal did not score. Go check the XG in those games. They had the chances. They were not bearing them. In these games that we are witnessing right now, Arsenal's XG against Nottingham Forest was less than 1. Same thing with the game, West Ham was less than 1. That's what I'm talking about. They are not creating the chances. Unlike in those days, on last season, when we had this same drought, we had the chances, you were not bearing them. That's the difference, right? And I hear you. On the day they might come and they might outplay United and all that, yeah. But I'm not as optimistic as you are, yeah. I think that's a major banana peel for Arsenal, and I also believe the game being sandwiched in between 2 Champions League games, you are already 8 points behind. How many points now? Is that 11 or 8? I don't even know anymore. Behind Liverpool, yeah. If I'm Arteta, I might as well throw the United game. I won't say throw it, but I might play the wicket team.
But Arteta is too stubborn. One, they have a game in hand. So again, you can hear me out. Don't yell at me. Liverpool only have 10 games to go. Arsenal have 11. Okay. In my opinion, Arteta does not respect Liverpool. Now let me finish. They don't respect this Liverpool team. Arsenal players do not respect this Liverpool team, right? They went through what they went through with City, right? It was like all parity and now disrespect, right? So it went like this. Now every time they meet City, they think they're better than City. They're arrogant. They want to bully them and crack their skulls and all that. When they play Liverpool, they don't even think about Liverpool because they think they're better than Liverpool, right? Arteta has no respect for Liverpool. Okay, in their mind, maybe they have to believe that. In their mind, they think they're only here because of injuries. I don't believe that. I don't think that's 1,000% true, even though we analyzed last week. Hey, if 4 of your forwards are injured for half the season, but there's a bigger gap between Liverpool and Arsenal than there is between Arsenal and Forest. So whether you respect them or not is irrelevant. It is what it is. But Yinka, there's 11 points between them with a game in hand, right? So
it's 13. It's 13 points.
Sorry. 13 points with a game in hand. So of course they will back themselves to win their game in hand, right? And then it becomes a 10 points with 10 games to go, right? That's what it would be, right? Okay, so it will be 10 points with 10 games to go, one head-to-head, right? So they will back themselves to win the head-to-head, which would be crazy because, 2 seasons ago they had a chance to win 2-0. They let a diminished, injured, Liverpool come back 2-2, right? City just went there and it was a walk in the park for Liverpool, right? So, but this is how Arteta thinks. He's gonna think, okay, we win our game in hand, we win over there, and now there's 7 points. And then how do we keep winning and get them to? So they haven't given up on the league. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it doesn't matter whether it's crazy or not, but they have not given up on the league.
Fair point. I hear you. Fingers crossed. Let's move on to questions then.
Yeah. Oh, finally we can move on to questions.
Finally, let's move on to questions.
Oh my God, you are killing me, Yinka. You are killing me. All right, so the very first one, you have to tell me where this comes from because I don't know who sent it. But it says, is football becoming too tactical at the expense of attacking flair and entertainment?
Yeah.
So who sent in the question? Was that from you?
No, this is me. This is me asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah? Okay, go for it.
So I'm the one asking. So you tell me. You respond to that.
Okay.
Since the question is coming from me.
I feel like I've answered this several times before. It's Pep. It's Pep. Pep has made everything boring, and I think it's Pep philosophy minus Messi equals boring. That's what it is, or more accurately, Pep philosophy minus Messi plus Iniesta plus Xavi equals boring. And you saw it in the national team of Spain at the 2010 World Cup. It was passing you to death, sideways passing, no threat up front, Fabregas at false nine, it was terrible, so that's what it is. It's and now Pep now has this big giant defenders who are supposed to care about, defending. Rodri, dark arts, in the middle, so it's no longer like this twinkle-toed, magicians, right? I mean, yes, there was Silver, but you had KDB. KDB was when it was healthy and younger, it was robust. It would bust along to sprint 60 yards, and he wasn't always the most physical, but he had the tools. So yes, I would agree. And no one is willing. Klopp was the only one who was willing to go toe to toe and do it a different way. Everyone else is trying to do it like Pep. Pass you to death. Everyone is passing out of the back. Everyone is, playing a flat 4-3-3. It's just, so yeah, I would absolutely agree, and I blame Pep.
So I also agree, but I'm not necessarily blaming Pep.
Okay.
So I can think about it. If you remove Neymar, Messi, add Cristiano to it, maybe not. In world football currently, who's the most skillful footballer? Take out those three.
If I remove Neymar, Messi, it might be Salah.
But is Salah really? When we talk about skill in those days,
I know what you mean.
Ronaldinho is skillful. JJ is skillful.
There's no such.
There's no such person.
There's no such person.
Even
Salah may
the
be the
Brazilians, that are Jogo Bonito, people, ambassadors.
No.
They are developing players like Bruno Guimaraes, who is probably more tactically aware than any European player.
Yeah.
Brazil don't even have the flair anymore. You look at a Cunha who's starting for them. Cunha is almost as tactically aware as any striker you have in Europe. The best, the player with the most flair in the Brazilian national team is Vini and Rodrigo. And if you look at those two, you can't even compare them with the Brazilians of those days.
I would agree.
The Brazilian defenders, you have Cafu, skillful on the right, Maicon, you have Roberto Carlos. Where are those kind of people these days? It's like the coaches all over the world sat down one day and said, you know what? No more dribbling, no more whatever. Everybody just needs to be proper, tactically aware, control pass, control pass. I think they're suppressing the dribbling talent in players from day one. And you see it even in the Nigerian league, in the Nigerian coaching system here. You go to the local whatever. If a guy takes the ball and run past 3 defenders, they say, pass. That's what happens. And you see this often. I see it often. So I'm like, what is happening to the beautiful game? Because right now, what is considered beauty is now a 60-yard pass. I'm not saying it's not beauty. I love it also. It's technique and all. It's a 60-yard pass. It's vision. It's ball control. It's you pacing, You don't celebrate flair as much as you used to. Flair now looks like a liability in football. And I think it shouldn't be. Even in Nigeria, where flair was our thing, where our wingers were fleet-footed and all, we don't have them anymore. We don't have them anymore. Which is the problem. African football is probably the only people that are still, you still have a bit of flair players here and there. And maybe also in the French league. But French league is predominantly African footballers anyway. Yeah. But I just think it's a problem. I'm wondering, where's the next Ronaldinho? Where's that guy that will take... Ronaldinho was a joy to watch. JJ was a joy to watch. These were people. Zidane was a joy to watch. But we don't have a Zidane anymore. They're celebrating Bellingham as probably the best midfielder or something. I don't think he is. But you can't even look at Bellingham. He's even Phil Foden and Saka that will say, "Oh, these guys are good." They are not as fleet-footed as the people that you and I watched growing up.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
I would agree. I would agree.
It's not. I don't think it's good for football. But what do I know? What do I know?
That is very interesting. All right. Moving on.
Interested indeed.
Moving on.
Yes, boss.
Okay, so I have a few that I put in there. So my first one, Yinka.
Yes, sir.
Why is you agree every team is playing? It's kind of similar to what you're talking about. Every team is playing out of the back now, right?
Yeah.
Goalkeepers have to, be able to use their feet and all that. But Yinka, why is it that kickoffs at the beginning, after goals, at second half, kickoffs go directly to the goalkeeper and then they just punt forward? I don't understand it. That never used to be the case. Before, the number 9 and the inside right or left will pass to each other and try to build out. That's how we grew up watching and playing the game. Now, when you're kicking off, everyone squeezes to the side. I was, again, Fulham, Man U today. When Man U equalized, it was like Fulham just decided they're only going to play on the right side of the field. And they all just lined up narrowly and left this side wide open, and then kicked the ball all the way back. It was so bizarre. So do you know why this is happening?
I think I do. I'm not 1,000% sure that this is, but in my opinion, I think this is why. It's all about inertia. You're a physics student. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm the one starting a game, I want to put the liability on the other team. Yeah. I want to check how ready they are. Whether their warm-ups were, yeah. And also I'm trying to avoid the situation where, because my team might also be struggling to get into gear, might be struggling with that inertia effect, let them have the ball first. Let me see if I can put pressure on them. Let me see if I can get something going. I think that is why they punt. It is all a function of these guys might not be up for it. They might want to feel themselves into the game, right? So let me see if I can take advantage of their unreadiness, if I can put it that way. And you've seen it yield results in some cases. That's why people score goals in the first 30 seconds of the game. It's because one team is not really ready yet. I know this is normal in football and in life. It takes a while before you get into stuff. And once you get into it, it takes a while for you to cool down. And once you cool down, it takes a while for you to start. It's the law of inertia. It is what it is. Yeah. So I think that's why that happens. Yeah. But you see some teams that don't do that is because they believe in themselves and they believe they can hold on to the ball. So they will knock the ball around. They will play themselves into the game. Yeah. But a coach will just say, you know what? To start the game, I don't want any mistakes. I don't want any silly mistakes with you guys because you might not have loosened your joints well enough. Just punt the ball. Let's see if you can get something fast from the other side. I think that's what it is. But I might be wrong. I'm not a coach. I've not done any of my badges. So
yeah, it's just amazing to me because I'm like, and the thing is, nothing ever comes out of it. But in any other situation, you don't want your goalkeeper punting. But then at kickoffs, you're happy to punt. It's the most bizarre thing. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. All right.
It does. So it doesn't. Anyway, right. Let's move on.
Let's keep going. I promised that we were gonna come back to Jamie Carragher. So how good or bad was Jamie Carragher as a player?
Why did you put good there? I just said how bad was Jamie Carragher as a
player. The man played 20 years. It couldn't have been that bad.
Jamie Carragher.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so let's do something.
Tell us.
So he played 20. How many times did he play for England?
I don't know. But I don't know. You tell me.
No. I'm just trying to. So was he a regular for England?
I wouldn't say regular. He was in the team. I don't know. Yeah.
He wasn't a regular for England. He was in the squad. So he was a squad player for England. So you think of someone that played that long for Liverpool. Liverpool being one of the top teams in England. Yeah?
Yeah, but they weren't good at the time. But okay, I hear you. I hear all this. Go on. Keep going.
So this guy had only 38 caps for England.
That's not bad.
38 caps over 11 years.
But for the generation he was in, you can be fair to him. Look at, come on, I mean, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand.
Well, you are more or less, you are making my point.
But it's not a crime to not be as good as John Terry or Rio Ferdinand. It's not a crime. And then you had Ledley King whenever he could stitch his ligaments together. I mean, Ledley King was like a Rolls Royce. I mean, is it a crime to not be as good as those guys?
Okay, so let me just say this, right? Let me just say this.
All right.
It is because of the fact that he was nowhere near the level. That is why he didn't even get airtime from an England standpoint. So yeah, that's why I said you're making my point. Jamie Carragher started off as a fullback. Was it right back or left back?
Right back. As a right back, yeah.
Started off as a right back. Then over the years, is barely 6'1" or thereabout. Is not the tallest. Yeah. So playing centre back in those days, if you're not 6'2", 3, 4, yeah, because football in those days is all about pullouts, nodding the ball and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, the only thing Jamie had, and I'll say this, and I'm not saying this to insult him, the only thing he had was heart. He had heart, right? Whatever he didn't have in skill, defensive skill, and the rest of it, he made up for in that zeal, that grind, and heart. That's it. Jamie Carragher is the kind of player, if you remove that heart, there's nothing left. You will struggle to squeeze out any ounce of skill. Yeah? From the guy. Yeah?
Okay.
Jamie Carragher played 508 times for Liverpool. Dude scored 3 goals only. He scored more own goals than goals itself. This is a defender. You see, okay, look at all that defenders. Don't even let me go far. Give me another defender that is not Ferdinand. That is not. Give me someone else. I can pull up their stats.
John Terry scored about 60 something goals for Chelsea. I know. I know all the stats. But I want to be fair to the guy, right? So again, it wasn't Rio Ferdinand. Composed. Ferdinand was Ferdinand was 10 years before his time, right? It was the guy who could advance the ball, pass through the lines and move the ball through the lines. And it could defend. It could defend. It wasn't like, it was this, I don't know, like he could only play the ball. He could defend. John Terry really couldn't play the ball, but he could really defend. And he could score on the other end with his head, right? And it was dogged and all that. But like you said, Jamie could play across the back four, and it was very, it was very available, as evidenced by his 508 caps. You just don't like him because of his mouth.
No. The only reason. So when they talk, they say Liverpool great Jamie Carragher. I'm like, was he really great for Liverpool? He was just available.
It was it. Liverpool great. It was, when you play 20 years, you are a Liverpool great. He outlasted a lot of people. And it was part of all the successes they had. It was there that night in, where was it again? Was it Paris? Whatever, against Milan? No, Turkey, Istanbul. Yeah, it was there Istanbul. That night in Istanbul. He was there for all of it. He was there for the fake treble, with Michael Owen. He was there for all of it.
If he's still playing right now, will he be in the Liverpool squad?
Squad, yes. It would not start above Konate or Van Dijk, but it would be in the squad.
Would he even play right back or left back?
I would play in my head of Trent 1,000 times out of 1,000. Me personally.
You're smoking. What's in that cup that you're drinking?
No, because Trent is not a defender. Trent is not a defender. Trent is not a defender, bro. Jamie Carragher is a defender.
Jamie Carragher is what you're saying. Hold on. Said, so you believe that Jamie Carragher is a better right back than Trent?
Let me put it this way.
No. Yes or no? No.
Yes, because I don't think
he's a better right back than Trent.
Because Trent Alexander-Arnold is not a right back. I don't know what he is. It would not be in any of my teams for any reason. I don't trust him. I would never start him. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't care. Go play tennis or whatever. I don't think he's a soccer player. I don't think he's a football player. It's not my kind of player.
This is where when Enro says that we kind of put these old players on a pedestal, right? This is I think I'm beginning to agree with him. You think? Come on, man.
The man cannot defend. The man cannot defend. You can't play right back for me when you can't defend.
No. So there are elements to playing a right back, right?
Okay.
There are people that are proper fullbacks. There are people that are wing backs, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right back, you go forward. You can't tell me you see Ben White bump forward. You see left backs and right backs. You have people that go forward, and so their primary job is not just defending. Yeah, I agree. Trent is not the best defender, right? But Carragher is a -1 offensively. -1 offensively also.
Okay.
So you're saying net, you will prefer. That's what you're saying. Net, you prefer Carragher.
Because you know what? Yes, because you know what? I can keep. So again, most coaches don't let both fullbacks bump forward, right? They keep one in place and then they let the other bump forward, right? That's how most modern coaches go. So if I know my guy is useless up top, I'll have him defend it. You know what I mean? I would rather that than know my guy is useless in the back. That I cannot abide. I'm sorry. I can't have a defender that can't defend.
This Trent disrespect, we'll address it next week.
It's not
not
disrespect.
Too much. People are you're just playing to the gallery because somebody has said Trent can't defend.
No.
So every defensive mistake that he made, you see, we said he can't defend. Whereas there are there are big, better right or other right backs that you people believe are very, very good right? When they make those defensive mistakes, they're not amplified as much as it is for Trent. You guys should. How can you tell me Carragher is a better right back than Trent?
I don't analyze.
Don't get me angry this evening.
Just for I don't care about the mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. I'm talking of the ball is over here. You're 30 yards away. You have no clue. You don't even know what's happening. You're not even in the vicinity of the ball. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
This Carragher that you want me to show you clips of Carragher not knowing where he is? What are you talking? This is the same Carragher that was frustrating for Thierry Henry. When Thierry took him and it was frustrating. Be careful, young man. Don't get me angry this evening.
Do you want to play Trent against Thierry Henry? You want to play Trent? You want to see that? You want to see that matchup?
No, I don't mind.
You're joking.
Carragher didn't do anything for him.
You're joking. Clearly you're joking. Okay, clearly you're joking.
So this is one thing you don't know, right? They say offense at times can be the best form of defense, right? The reason why some left backs are actually scared of Trent is because he also has an offensive capabilities within him. So what are we talking about?
Okay.
See, Cafu is the prototypical right back. Cafu can go forward and come back. Not everybody's Cafu. We get that. Yeah? But come on, Carragher. Carragher scored 7 own goals, by the way.
You just don't like this guy. You just don't like 7 own goals. Okay. Let's move on. And the final one. We've talked about Mo Salah, right? So I think we both agree Stevie G is in the pantheon of Liverpool greats. It could be number 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. We don't know, right? Yeah. I will put him up there as probably number 1, but this is not my club. I'm not invested. I don't care. I didn't watch Kenny Dalglish play, so I have no idea if this is just disrespectful. But Steven Gerrard is one of my favorite players ever. But has Mo Salah now surpassed Stevie G in the pantheon of Liverpool greats?
Okay, so like I always say, I'm not part of this new generation that go by stats only, that just look at stats only. They say numbers don't lie. But what I tell them is numbers don't lie, but they don't tell you everything. Yeah? You know me by this, right? So let's go with the numbers to start with. Salah has played 375 games, scored 231 goals, assists 105. So goal plus assist per game is on 0.9.
Amazing.
Move over to Stevie G. He's played 710 games for Liverpool. I agree he's a midfielder. Scored 186 goals, 155 assists, 0.5 goal assists per game. Amazing, yeah? Now, if you go to the trophies that they've won, Salah has won 8 trophies with Liverpool. Stevie G has won 9. Salah has won 1 Champions League. Stevie G has won 1 Champions League. 1 Premier League. Stevie G never won a Premier League for Liverpool. Right? 1 FA Cup for Salah, 2 FA Cups for Stevie G. 2 League Cups for Salah, 3 League Cups for Stevie G. I will ignore the Community Shield. I will ignore the UEFA Cup and the FIFA World Club. Those ones are irrelevant to me, right? So in terms of trophies, right, you might say they're almost the same, but the fact that Salah won a Premier League, right, yeah, it will give him a bit of an edge, yeah? But, in my opinion, yeah, while Stevie G was at Liverpool, Stevie G was Liverpool. If you get what I mean. Stevie G was Liverpool, right? Everything about Liverpool was around him, to the point where people even thought that his ego was getting in the way of Liverpool's progression because he wanted to do everything for them. He wanted to be the one to make the assists, whatever he wanted to score. People believe that he even suppressed some of the talents that came through. Xabi Alonso didn't shine as much as he should have because of Stevie G. I get all that. But for me, that is not a negative on Stevie G. That shows that I am the captain. That shows his influence on the club. So in my opinion, right now, I don't think Stevie G, or rather, I don't think Salah has surpassed Stevie G. Can he? Frankly, I don't know. And if you ask me, I wouldn't say I don't think so. Because Stevie G, from age 17, from that his debut, and I remember watching that match live, Stevie G brought life to Liverpool and he was Mr. Liverpool all through his career. Yeah. But I don't want to disrespect Salah. Yeah. Sometimes Salah looks like a passenger in this Liverpool team. If you get what I mean. Sometimes. And it's happened multiple times. Yeah. But at every point in time, I think Stevie G was it was something else. There's that aura, there's that presence, there's that, he's just he truly embodied Liverpool, and being their captain, I think it was at another level. I don't think Salah will get there. But in my opinion, I think, like you said, the top three should be Stevie G, Salah, and Kenny Dalglish. Kenny Dalglish won over 21, so almost over 20 trophies for Liverpool, and he was Mr. Liverpool before Gerrard. Yeah, but this is not a disrespect to Salah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he's fantastic. The people that look at the numbers only, they will say Salah is the greatest. In my opinion, numbers don't lie. They don't tell you everything. So I still believe Stevie G is the greatest Liverpool player of all time. Okay.
I would agree. I think context is everything. I think Stevie never had a proper team that could win the league. Let's be real. People would talk about the slip. Oh, he slipped, blah, 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 blah. But what was he doing in that position in the first place? Why did the coach put him in that position? Anyone can slip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the beginning of that season, did anyone say Liverpool is going to win the league? You know, if you take Stevie G out of the Istanbul team, that was a team that finished 30 points behind the eventual champions in the Premier League that year in 2005. 30 points behind. You take Stevie G out and you put Mo Salah in. They don't come sixth. They probably come 10th. Yeah. And they don't win in Istanbul that night. Because Stevie G played right back that day. He played overlapping, bombing forward. He played everything he played like 4 or 5 positions that day. It was inspirational. So for me,
I think that's the word, inspiration.
Yeah, it was inspirational. They never put a team around him that was capable. All right. And honestly, until very recently, Salah was like a big part player, which is crazy that I'm saying this, but it was a big part player in the Liverpool machine that Klopp built.
Yep.
It was always Salah Mane. It was Salah Mane, Firmino being so important in the middle. So obviously, this is a much better built team. They've revamped the club. They have good leadership in the front office. All of that. Back then, it was just, let's get whoever we can. They got a really good coach in Benitez. I don't want to disrespect him at all. And Benitez saw what you said about Stevie G. That, hey, Xabi, I need his intelligence. Xabi Alonso should be taking the ball from the center backs and distributing it, and you should be a little further up. And Stevie, I don't think Stevie was selfish. It wasn't about being selfish.
It wasn't.
He just didn't he didn't have the right football education, in my opinion. And that's the problem with England. He didn't have, so he had to be this swashbuckling, let's go kill everything in front of us. And Alonso would just sit back and do what Alonso does,
Just spray the ball.
And that was what they needed, and it's also, again, just when I think about Stevie's failures with England, that was also the problem, because when he needed with Lampard, he needed to morph into Xabi Alonso. He was unable to do it, because Lampard could not do
it. It's difficult to do. You can't play something else like club football week in, week out. Then you get to the national team, all of a sudden go take another position. It's tough.
Mikel did it. Mikel Obi did it. I hated it for him at club level. Yeah. But he did it.
But how many other players can you mention that did that?
It's tough.
It's rare. It's very tough. And the only reason why this is a topic, Aki, across the footballing world, goes back to my point. We just look at numbers. It's not the only reason why this is a problem, or why this is a discussion point, right? is everybody look at the numbers and they say, oh, Salah is having an historical season in terms of numbers. And they just say he has an historical season. He's having an historical season. And I tell them, no. You're looking at it from a number standpoint. I've seen better seasons in this EPL by players in the past. Better than this. Better than this. Yes, the goals and assists, I get that. I told you I don't even fancy assists at the start. When did it become a big thing in football, But I agree with everything you said. Stevie G, is I don't even think Salah can meet. That's how I see it. I don't think Salah can ever.
That's
I don't think
that's kind of where I'm at too. That's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at.
I don't think so.
All right.
I think his position is cemented permanently. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have a donkey of the week?
Is Mr. Jamie Carragher.
Okay. So
Mr. Jamie Carragher is a donkey. And maybe I'll just let donkey of the week go on a 4 weeks break because of Ramadan. In the spirit of Ramadan, I don't need I don't want to come here and start bashing people and flogging them and telling them don't do that ever again.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
It's not so. Okay. So let me do this. I've seen this on Breakfast Club. I'm sure you've seen this too. Right? So Jamie Carragher, donkey of the week. I'm taking it back.
Oh my god!
You're fine.
Oh my god! Okay. So I didn't see that coming. I did not. That was hilarious. I didn't see that coming because I was gonna ask them like, what if they really, really deserve it, even during Ramadan?
No. I'll go for the next 4 weeks. It's
okay.
It's a month of peace and grace, so let it be that way.
Okay, I will be ecumenical in my approach, and I will agree with you. And we'll suspend Donkey of the Week for 4 weeks. All right, I think we wrapped. I think we wrapped. I think we So you wanna take us out?
Once again, thanks everybody for the support. Thanks for liking our videos. Thanks for the engagement across all our social media platform. I think we just set up a TikTok account. I don't know what someone told us to, and
we'll put it out there.
We'll put it out there. You guys go do your thing. Still on track for 1,000 subscribers. Baby steps. Yes, we know we'll get there one day. But thanks for the support so far. We really do appreciate it. And Maki, I guess we'll see our people next week then.
All right. Thank you, Yinka. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.